BJJ techniques or strategies that beginners should start learning early on to accelerate their progress and stand out on the mat.
Let's start with leg locks. Now, it's been thought of for a long time in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that leg locks are advanced techniques only. This was very common years ago, especially when most rule sets had restricted almost all leg locks to the upper belts. Therefore, they became advanced techniques. Nowadays, the straight ankle lock is legal almost across the board, even at white belt, even in the gi, and you can get a very advanced leg lock exchange with just straight ankle locks. There are a lot of positions you can do, and there are a lot of ways you can attack the straight ankle lock. If you're a white belt and you start learning how to do a straight ankle lock without getting your own leg attacked, just start an ashigarami and get the straight ankle lock. I would recommend asking your coach, but also looking for videos on YouTube. Just search up white belt leg locks. Tons of videos are going to pop up, and practice them. And if you have an accepting coach who will show you some leg locks, let them show you leg locks. But if not, just look at them online and try to hit them in a live roll. You're a white belt, you're allowed to do a straight ankle lock. Now your coach may be against it, but if your coach is against you doing a white belt legal technique when you're a white belt, he probably is ego tripping and has other issues. It might be best to find another gym. But let's say you're going to have a coach who's like most coaches and is open to you practicing different moves. Just learn them and how to place your legs, how to get your arm through, how to apply, and start in that position. When you're live rolling, say, hey, can I start in this position? And go from there. And you'll learn that leg locks don't have to be as scary as you think they are. And if you start with an upper belt and say, hey, I'm trying to practice my leg locks, can we start in ashigarami position? Maybe they'll say, hey man, make this adjustment here, make this adjustment there, and they'll give you some secrets and techniques. So if you start that path early when you're a white belt, by the time you get to blue and purple, it won't be this massive shift in your game. Leg locks can be just another puzzle piece, like an arm bar or a guard pass. You can also pass the guard with leg locks, pro tip, right? They're afraid of your leg lock, they might open up their legs to pass much easier. That's one advanced route you can start going down as a beginner. The other thing you can do as a beginner, if you want to do advanced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu moves sooner, is chain your techniques. So you don't have to chain 1,000,000 or even 5 moves. I would start with 2, maybe 3, but just focus on 2. Any position you're in, find an attack that will combo with another one. If you want to simplify it, you can always think of the 4 directions. You can push somebody, you can push them forward, push them backwards, push them left, push them right. And take closed guard, for example. If you pull them down, maybe you do a cross choke. But if they come up, you do a hip bump sweep right after. So you're pulling them down, option 1, getting the cross choke, and they come up, and you push them forward, option 2. Maybe you have a scissor sweep where you get their collar, you pull them back and sweep them sideways, or you have a shoulder crunch where you grab their other arm and sweep them to the right. So you're going back and forth, or forwards and backwards. And you can do this from any position, offensively or defensively. Just get 2 moves from each position, and option 1, option 2, option 1, option 2. And that can start to mentally overwhelm your opponents, especially if they haven't seen those before or if they're not familiar with it. You can really, really make your opponents think you're better than you are. If you have 2, 3, if you have 3 moves from a position, you can beat like anybody. If you're really good at it, you got to be really good at those moves. But if you combo move 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 3, and obviously you got to do the whole move. You won't be able to do it that fast. But if you're comboing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and switch it up with an unexpected move, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and switch it up with an unexpected third option, you are going to make significant progress, and you are going to catch people who are better than you. Now, this is going to be developed position by position, but just start somewhere you're already comfortable, get those 2 or 3 techniques, and get really, really good at them, and just start doing them again and again and again. If you start focusing more on them, you're going to have a lot more success. One final advanced strategy that you can tie into when you're a beginner is patience. And I know that sounds a little bit boring when it's attack, 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 leg locks, little combo, all this stuff, but patience, especially in submissions, is going to yield you outsized results. For me, when I was a white belt and I first started getting things like chokes, I would think I have to get it really tight and then they tap. But what happens when I get it as tight as I can and they're not tapping? And then I burn my arms out and they don't fall asleep. Well, then I might get it tight and then let go. Well, maybe I would have had it if instead of thinking you have to go all or nothing, think of it like you have a hose and you're trying to slowly crease the hose so that way the flow eventually stops and tap, right? And that's how long you should be able to apply your chokes when you're choking somebody. You should be able to get a deep collar grip and apply. And I always say count to 10. 6, 7, make it a little tighter, 8, a little tighter, 9, and 10. And if after 10 seconds they haven't tapped, either readjust or let go and try something else. And you'll find a couple of things. One, you're putting people to sleep, which means your finishing mechanics are really, really good and they're not tapping. Or two, you're not getting finishes, but you're switching to a better position and you're no longer burning your arms out. Or three, you are getting the submissions now. Oftentimes, an advanced player can recognize when someone's trying as hard as they can, and if they do it for a second and then let go, they take that breath, they capture that breath of air, and they recover. And instead of letting them recover, just think about slowly applying your choke. If you can do something to put your weight into it so you don't have to use as much muscle, that's obviously better technique, comes with experience, comes with getting this knowledge over time of making little adjustments here. You can ask people to show you these little adjustments and your coaches and whatnot. But eventually you're going to get to a point where without a ton of strength, you can apply a choke for 10 seconds, and if they didn't tap, they're probably going to have gone to sleep, or you'll know you didn't get the submission. So patience when it comes to applying submissions is an advanced technique. You can start applying early on, and you're going to have a lot more success. You're also going to have a lot more success in patience between positional switching. So if you find yourself in a situation where you can't progress, just chill out for a little bit. Try something here or there without necessarily compromising yourself and just rushing into the first thing you see. Wait for an opportunity or try a couple things that might make an opportunity present itself without overextending. And that patience will lead you a long way. So those are some advanced things you can do as a white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.